I have a mess here. I'll use these napkins to wipe some stuff down when it gets down to that point. That didn't work. I bought it from Temu and it did not work. That extension USB cord thing. Change. Put it in my change jar. I got it out earlier because I was supposed to have somebody come over to just mostly change. I got a lot of pennies. Pennies aren't even good anymore. I got a lot of quarters too. Some ones. I just added a nickel to it. Whoa, look at that. I found a little bow. Trash. 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 Razor wipes. I'm going to put these paints away over here. I just have a Walmart paper bag full of my acrylic paints. I don't have any. Or somebody said they're gonna bring. This lady on next door said she's bringing an armoire that she carried all her craft stuff or stored all her craft stuff in for years. She said probably a decade at least, and she's gonna donate it to me for my crafts, so I have somewhere to put my crafts in here, but the armoire won't fit in here, so I'm going to put the armoire out in the living room against the wall. When you come in the house, it's like the living room connects to the wall, connects to the bathroom, and then the hallway that comes into my room, and then across from my room is my caregiver / partner's room. Key ring. And outside of here, past the hallway, before you get to when you get to the living room, against the wall on the left right there, where I'm going to put the armoire. It's about 55 inches tall and 45 inches wide and 21 inches deep. So it'll fit perfectly right there. It'll only stick out as far as my stuff is right now. And that stuff I'll be able to put in the armoire. What is that stuff, you ask, that is sitting where the armoire is going to go? Well, it's about 20 hoodies of all different sizes, because I'm making hoodies. I'm making vinyl. Well, actually, okay, so it's these printable vinyl sheets that I print on with my inkjet printer, and I can print in color. I just can't print in white because printers don't print in white typically. I don't think they do at all. And I'm going to print like fundamental chromatic and like some inspirational quote. And then you put it on the sweater, the hoodie. Then I iron it on, and then it stays. And I have to insert like a care card so that people know to wash it and dry it inside out. And that way the decal stays as long as possible. And yeah, so that's what's right there is bags and boxes of hoodies and those printable vinyl sheets. And then somebody else is selling me a dresser. I don't know the dimensions of it, but it looks like it'll fit right over here against the wall right there. So I'm excited about that because I'll be able to put my paints and crafting stuff in it. And it's a tall, like 7-drawer wooden. That's the key, is it's wood. Because like my dresser I have right now, right here, it's cloth. And it won't, I mean, that's for my clothes anyway, so it's fine. Although it's kind of finicky. I can't even get the drawers to open and shut right. So I don't recommend cloth drawers, really. Because I can't get my drawers to close right. Yeah, I have to like get them out and then put them back in. Like this one is just too full, I think, because they can only carry so much weight because they're cloth. They're cloth. They're not wood. I have some crafting supplies in some of these, but most of it's clothes. I need to go through my clothes too and get rid of some because that right there is clean clothes. I still have a bag of dirty clothes over there. My closet's full. I have clothes right here. I have clothes in the dryer just sitting there. I have a mess. I have ADHD. I have schizophrenia. I have bipolar. I have anxiety. I have PTSD. I've been in psychosis. But ever since I've taken my medication like I'm supposed to, I haven't gone back into psychosis, thank God. But I would if I stopped taking my medication. And, anyways, the wood dresser is going to be durable and sturdy, and I'm going to be able to put all my crafting supplies in it, and I'm really excited about it. I really do hope and pray that the lady comes through. She even said she would bring it. Both of the ladies did. The one selling me the $25 dresser she was selling for $50. She said she'd accept $25 and she'd bring it to me. And then the other lady that's donating the armoire and a dresser, if it's a tall dresser, she's going to let me know what kind of dresser it is. She just told me she also had a dresser from Pottery Barn that she was willing to donate to me for my crafting supplies. Because I let people know, I have 14 disabilities and most of them are mental health related. I have to do coping skills. Even YouTube is, but I have to do coping skills so that I don't relapse and so that I don't, go back into psychosis, so that I don't get too depressed and suicidal, so that I don't hate myself, so that I don't hate other people. I mean, I don't think I'd ever hate other people or myself. But I can never say never, because when I'm off my medications, I'm a totally different person. My medications and my support system has saved my life. And who is my support system, you ask? My caregiver / partner. My mental health psychiatrist. I mean, she's not my friend, and she makes me angry a lot because I have to advocate for myself, exponentially, because she tries to regulate everything. Like, she used to not want to prescribe me certain medications, and I had to advocate for myself to get her to prescribe medications. I actually had to go to a different doctor, get the medications, stay on them with that doctor for a year, and then come back and say, I've been on it for a year, I've been doing good, I need to stay on this medication. And this doctor, my psychiatrist now, she kept me on the medication, but That's what I had to go through to get on the medication for my ADHD that I needed. They tried different medications, but they weren't stimulants, and they didn't help. And I tried so many different medications, and they didn't help. For heaven's sakes, they had me taking blood pressure medication for ADHD, saying that it could help. Yeah, it could help, and that's ridiculous y'all would even think it would. Especially with somebody that's been self-medicating for years. From 2003 or 2004, when I moved to Colorado, and I turned 14 and started high school, to 2018, I self-medicated. Meaning I used drugs to cope with my mental and physical health disabilities that weren't even diagnosed, and that I didn't even know that I had a disability. I didn't even know I had a mental health challenge. I didn't know I had a mental health challenge until I went into psychosis, and even then I didn't know. I didn't know until I got recovered and stabilized on medication well enough to know what was even going on. But my support system is also my primary care doctor, my Suboxone doctor. And what is Suboxone? Suboxone is part of the MAT program, Medicated Assisted Treatment and Therapy. Medicated Assisted Therapy and Suboxone. Okay, so when you utilize opiates to cope with mental health diagnosis you may not even know you have, or physical health, when you do opiates on your own, like heroin or painkillers, it eats away your receptors, your happy receptors, your dopamine, your feel-good receptors. It eats those receptors in your brain away, so that whenever you are off the drug, opiates, you don't feel happy like a normal person, like a person without this disability, substance use disorder, opiate dependency. People without opiate dependency, they can feel good and feel happy and have dopamine receptors spark off or spark on and communicate with between the synapses and the neurotransmitters in their brain like normally, like I used to maybe could. Although I don't think I ever could because of my mental health challenges, and that was why I used opiates. When I used opiates, it made my dopamine receptors and my feel good receptors work well, almost too well, and that's why I chased an addiction, is what I've learned. And also to fill those receptors. Well, when I stopped doing opiates and heroin and painkillers alike, those dopamine receptors were still void, were still empty, were still broken and not working. So I went to the doctor and asked about medicated assisted therapy because I had learned about it, and they recommended Suboxone. Suboxone's an opiate that also has another drug in it, so that if I utilize any additional opiates, it's going to make me go through withdrawals, and I won't feel the opiate, the second opiate that I would be taking on top of the Suboxone. And that's naloxone in it. Well, Suboxone and naloxone is buprenorphine and naloxone. And they give it to people with opiate dependency so that they stay off of opiates. It helps with cravings. It helps with to not have cravings. It helps us so that we can't get high on opiates as long as we're taking the buprenorphine and naloxone sublingual film. Well, this combined with counseling, because to be in the MAT program, you must go through counseling with the MAT program counselor, which is a substance use counselor and sometimes also a mental health counselor. Well, I've been in the MAT program since 2016. I tried the MAP program, but I failed at it because I had mental health psychosis, schizophrenia, bipolar, ADHD that was not being treated also. And so I failed the MAP program and I went back to heroin and opiates. Well, in 2018, whenever I got help for this psychosis, schizophrenia, bipolar, and ADHD, I was also integrated into the MAP program again, and together with all of my disabilities being cared for at once, as well as my physical disabilities like chronic migraines and scoliosis and back pain, neck pain, what is it called? Sleep apnea, idiopathic hypersomnia disease. All these things were treated at once because I went into a crisis situation and was hospitalized, and they treated me for everything. And when I got out, I stayed keeping my appointments. I've taken my medications several times per day. All my medications several times per day. I see a counselor for the MAP program. I see a psychiatrist. I see a primary care doctor. I see a neurologist. I see a sleep specialist. And all of these people, and these are my support system. These are my support system. I don't have my parents. They're gone. My sisters are in different states. I do have my partner / caregiver. His mom is in another town with our kids. My oldest daughter's in another state with her grandparents. And so I try to find community like on places like Facebook, YouTube, Nextdoor, because I don't have a lot of support. And I need support. I need support. It is inevitable that I would need support because I have so many disabilities and I am an extrovert as well. Meaning I like to be around people. I like to talk. I like to listen. I like to engage. I like to have fun. I like to do stuff with other people. But I'm also an introvert about as equally as I am an extrovert. And I like time to myself. I like time to think. I like time to learn. I like time to create and write and read and learn and do art and do crafts. So I need people in my life that are willing to give me space, but are also willing to be there when I need them to be there. And I'm very high maintenance. I understand that is high maintenance to need all these things. But it's life. And the people that are willing to be there for me are the ones that love me, or that love their neighbors and love people and love neighbors as they love themselves. And that trust in God and a higher power, and trust that they are created to create, and trust that I'm a good person, that they're a good person. And I appreciate everybody in my life. And you know what? I don't have any income. That's why I'm trying to do this YouTube thing, is trying to monetize it. Not only am I trying to make a difference and trying to help people, but I'm also trying to earn some income. So if you would like this video and subscribe, comment, and share, I would appreciate it greatly, because it would help me reach more people with this message of hope. And it would help me monetize my YouTube channel, which would help me earn some income that I desperately need, that I greatly need, because I want to own a home. I want to have a home. I want to have a place that my kids can come and see me at. I want space to be able to do my coping skills. I want space where I can have my cats and they can look out the windows and have a stable place to live. And I want a yard where I can do gardening. And, and I deserve these things just like all of you deserve these things too. I wish I could work, but I can barely work because I'm always tired. I can't wake up to alarm clocks very easily, if at all sometimes. My chronic migraines get in the way, my back pain gets in the way, my mental health gets in the way. I have delusions all the time. I went to see the SSI and SSDI Social Security Administration doctors the other day, and they asked me how I have schizophrenia. Like, what kind of schizophrenia do I have? Do I hear voices or do I see things? And I'm like, not really, no. And he's like, well, then I don't even know that you have schizophrenia or that you have bipolar. And I was like, he was like, can you give me some real life past examples and current examples? And I was like, no, can we come back to this? And then we got back, or we started talking about something else. And I was like, your wife painted those pictures there. She did 3 flowers. Is she assuming that we know that she probably did the 3 flowers for the God, the Father, and the Holy Spirit? And he was like, is that your example? And I was like, yes, because that's the way I think. I literally thought that. And these thoughts I don't ever say out loud because people are going to think I'm crazy. People are going to laugh, or people are going to hate me, or people are going to lock me up. Shit, So I don't typically voice my delusions, what I think. But I did at that moment, and I hope that helps me get approved for SSI and SSDI, because I was being as honest as I've ever been in my life when it comes to my delusions, because I feel like I can trust people in authority like that, in a position, a professional position like that. Like, yeah, I know to have my guard up, because at any moment they could send me to a mental hospital. They have that authority. Um they have that ability to do that. So I do always have to everybody should always be careful for what they say to any psychiatrist. But at the same time, don't be dishonest, and be as honest as you're willing to be and you can be without harming yourself. Don't say too much to where you could get yourself into trouble, but don't keep so much back that you don't get the benefits that you deserve. And that's the moral of this story for now. Thank you.